Great.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Sleep Detective podcast. Today, I have my amazing client, John, here to talk about how he was sleeping, kind of what he struggled with, and his journey and how he's doing now. So I really appreciate having you on here, John.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Awesome. Good. So, yeah, first question. How are you sleeping when you found me, when we first started working together?
Well, I was at my wits' end, and I've had sleep problems off and on a good majority of my life. They just weren't so over the top where I wasn't was I would wake up early, or I would I would wake up for an hour here and there, but it wasn't over the top. But in the last 5 years, I was really struggling, waking up multiple times a night, 4 or 5 times a night, struggling to even get a decent sleep where I could function the next day. And you know, um, you came along when I really needed somebody, because I really was at my wits' end. I thought I was going to have to retire. That's how bad it was.
Oh, no. Yeah. And so, what had you tried so far?
So everything. I had been to 9 professionals, MDs, NDs, um, naturopaths. I tried acupuncture. I tried everything under the sun. I tried, from supplements. I've read every book, um, supplements and devices. Every snake oil device that you can see they're pushing out there to get a better sleep. Wearable devices. Everything. I've tried absolutely everything on the market.
Yeah, many of my clients have, and I know I was the same way where we're trying to figure it out, right? And there's so many things promising better sleep that they don't really work for chronic insomnia, I don't think. So,
Correct. I agree.
yeah. So, yeah, what do you remember from your test results and like what was the most significant finding?
So what was the miracle, and I mean, it is a miracle, is that after talking to you for 30 minutes, you said, "Hey, would you be willing to take a mold test?" And I said, "Sure." And 30 minutes conversation with you, and I think back to everybody I talked to, and not, you know, they were prescribing me antihistamines to sleep that would make you groggy. In 30 minutes, I talked to you, and you said, "Let's do a mold test," and sure enough, it came back. It showed mold toxins, and which was bittersweet. I didn't want to see that, but at least we had some answers.
Yeah. And you weren't surprised, right? Because weren't you aware that you had been in mold before?
I I was I wasn't surprised, but um, I didn't understand until you explained it to me that a lot of people have a gene where they can't detoxify from the mold toxins, and that could be what I was experiencing. And I had been experiencing hypersensitivity to Wi-Fi and EMFs, and come to find out that after I read about that mold response and generates 600 times more toxins when it's exposed to EMFs and Wi-Fi, and it was making me cuckoo.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's interesting, like the intake questionnaire I send everyone has this assessment for to see if mold could be an issue. And I remember you had like 8 out of those 13 symptom clusters. So that's why I
Yeah,
suspected, because you were
yeah,
experiencing a lot of those symptoms of mold toxicity. Yeah.
yeah.
And I see this in about a third of our clients. So it's definitely an issue and something that can easily get overlooked if someone doesn't know about mold. So,
Yes.
yeah, I'm glad that we found that for you. So you definitely made some changes. You already had some things to help with the mold, like a sauna and a Rife machine and things like that, right? Um,
Yeah. As soon as you told me, I started. Um, I have so many tools at my hands that I can use. And the minute you verified that for me, I started using the tools I had.
Yeah, which is awesome because, some people take a while to recover from mold. And I think having those tools really helped you get better so much faster, which is awesome.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. What else have you done in the past 6
Well,
months?
and then after that, um, after finding out the mold, yes, I used the Rife machine and I used Asana. But then you gave me the supplements to help the biocidin that helped with the mold and candida, and then the candida supplements. So I've been taking them all along. I've ended one of them, but I was doing that. Now the rest of the program that you have is fantastic, because what it did for me was it helped to connect some things. I mean, I've read so much, and it was helpful, your videos and your handouts, to help reinforce things that I've already learned on my own, and hit it home and make it. We might know a certain thing, but when I see somebody else tell me, like one of your videos or one of your handouts, it reinforces, and it gives me some good techniques and tips to focus on. So, just some of the good sleep hygiene. Um, and so, look, I don't think I'll ever be like I'm 14 years old again and sleep the whole night through. Well, maybe I will, but um, when I do wake up, it's a short time. I still look at the clock, though. I know you told me not to, but I'm not looking at it and then an hour later looking at it and an hour later looking at it. It's really 15, 20 minutes to get back to sleep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So, yeah, tell us how you are sleeping now. I mean, I guess the main thing is that instead of being awake for a couple hours, you're going back
Yeah,
to
I'm
sleep.
I'm falling back asleep, and I'm obsessing with sleep a lot less. I'm not saying, oh, I'm not going to sleep tonight. I'm not. That program's not running anymore. And some nights when I get through the night and I'm like, I didn't have to take this and I didn't have to take that. And I'm not talking about sleep medication, but all natural stuff to help sleep. I'm in amazement that I made it through the night and I didn't have to use this or use that, or valerian to make it through the last 2 hours, or anything like that. And it's like, wow, another win. So
Yeah, that's great. And you're also dealing with quite a bit of stress in your life right now too. So,
yes, yes, yes. And in spite of that, um, in spite of that, I'm, you know, sleep is essential, and it's necessary even to deal with the stress. So yes,
yeah. So I think that's amazing that you can sleep well, even with all of that other stuff going on, such as, taking care of aging parents and children and running a business and all the things.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to add?
So the other thing is, and I know it might. I mean, this is not even a paid promotional, but I would be the president of your club. But when I think I found you on TikTok. I think that's where I first saw, either TikTok or YouTube. You came up in a video, and I know that they're targeted marketing. They see that you're looking for sleep solutions, and when I decided, hey, I'm going to try this out, my wife says to me, not again, not again. And and she's like, you're cuckoo. And I says, I am, but I will keep on going until I solve this. And um and and so I just had a gut feeling, and boy, am I glad, because uh you know the missing puzzle piece was to my sleep issues and not the fix all, but the place to get me where I can function was Martha, and I am so glad that I decided to have you help me out.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad too. It's been great working with you. And yeah, you've just been open to making all the changes and doing all the things. And so, yeah, I'm so glad that you've gotten so much better.
Yeah, and so I'd like to add that getting through the day now went from um, brute force. My job requires a lot of thought and analysis, and so getting through the day went from brute force cranking through the day to now that things are much more effortless, and things flow better, and I'm not having to strong arm my way through the day, and it's just it's just great. It's just fantastic. My outlook, um, and the whole everything. It just changes. It changes the outlook on everything.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that because, we know that sleep affects everything, every part of our lives. So, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
huge difference to just be barely surviving each day versus being able to actually, yeah, do our work and think clearly and be creative and all the things. So I'm so
And
glad.
thrive. Yeah, and
Yes.
thrive. Yep.
Yes, exactly. Awesome,
Mhm.
John. Well, I really appreciate you being on again, and thanks so much.
Yeah, and I thank you for everything.